There's a moment so small, so quiet, that most dog owners miss it completely. Your dog is sitting there, not barking, not wagging, not asking for anything, just watching. And then they look away. It feels meaningless, random, almost like nothing happened at all. But what if that tiny moment is actually one of the most important signals your dog ever gives you? What if that simple act is your dog trying to say something deeper than words ever could? Most people never notice it, and the ones who do often misunderstand it completely. But by the end of this, you're going to see your dog differently. Because this behavior, the one nobody talks about, quietly defines your entire relationship with them. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. There's a common belief that dogs communicate through obvious things. Barking, tail wagging, jumping, licking. Big, visible actions that are easy to interpret. And because of that, we tend to ignore the subtle ones. The quiet shifts, the stillness, the pauses. But here's what most people miss. Dogs are not just reactive animals. They are observers. They are constantly reading you, measuring you, adjusting themselves based on what they feel from you. And sometimes, the most important communication isn't what they do. It's what they choose not to do. Let me show you what that really means. Imagine this. You're sitting on your phone after a long day. Your dog walks into the room. They look at you for a second, maybe two. Their eyes are soft, calm. And then they slowly turn their head away. No sound. No demand. Just that quiet shift. Most people would think nothing of it. Maybe the dog got bored. Maybe they weren't interested. Maybe they were just being a dog. But that's not what's happening at all. What you just witnessed was your dog regulating the emotional space between you. Studies in canine behavior have shown that when dogs deliberately break eye contact, especially in calm situations, it's often a sign of emotional awareness. They are reducing pressure. They are saying, in their own way, I trust this moment enough to soften it. But here's the part that changes everything. If your dog does this often around you, it means they feel safe enough to not stay alert. That quiet look away? It's not disinterest. It's comfort. And most people miss it completely. Now think about a different moment. You come home after being gone for hours. Your dog greets you, but instead of jumping wildly or barking, they come close, pause, and just lean against your leg. No excitement explosion. No chaos. Just stillness. Some owners worry about this. They think, why isn't my dog more excited? But here's what's really happening. Your dog isn't lacking emotion. They're choosing connection over reaction. Leaning in dog psychology is a grounding behavior. It's physical reassurance. It's their way of syncing with your presence. Almost like they're saying, I'm here. You're here. That's enough. But here's what most people miss. Dogs don't lean on people they don't trust. That kind of closeness requires emotional safety. So when your dog leans into you quietly, it's not a weak response. It's one of the strongest signs of bonding. And if you ignore it, you miss a moment your dog deeply values. Let's go even deeper. Have you ever noticed your dog suddenly yawning when nothing seems to be happening? No sleepiness. No boredom. Just a random yawn in the middle of interaction. Most people dismiss it instantly. But behaviorists have observed something fascinating. Dogs often yawn as a calming signal. Not because they're tired, but because they're processing tension. Now here's where it gets interesting. Sometimes, that tension isn't even theirs. It's yours. Your dog picks up on your stress, your frustration, even your subtle shifts in mood. And instead of reacting outwardly, they try to regulate the situation internally. That yawn? It's like a reset button. A quiet attempt to stabilize the emotional environment. But here's what most people miss. If your dog yawns during interactions with you, especially when you're feeling something intense, they're not disengaging. They're trying to cope. They're absorbing your energy in ways you don't even realize. And that changes how you see every random yawn from that moment on. Now let's talk about something even more subtle. The slow blink. Yes, dogs do it too. You're sitting close.
There's no tension. No commands. No distractions. Your dog looks at you. And then slowly blinks. Not a quick reflex. A soft, deliberate blink. And then maybe they relax their body just a little more. Most people don't even register this.
But in animal communication, slow blinking is often a signal of trust and non-threat.
It's the opposite of alertness. The opposite of defense. It's vulnerability. But here's what makes it powerful. Dogs only show this kind of behavior when they feel emotionally secure. When they believe, without hesitation, that they are safe. So when your dog gives you that slow blink, it's not just a random eye movement. It's a quiet expression of trust. A moment where your dog is completely at ease with you. And if you blink back slowly,
you're speaking their language in the simplest, most profound way. But here's something even more surprising. Sometimes, the behavior that matters most looks like distance.
Your dog walks into the room. They see you. And instead of coming over, they settle down across the space. Not too far. Not too close. Just within view. This confuses a lot of people. They think, why doesn't my dog want to be near me? But that's not what's happening. Dogs don't always need physical closeness to feel connected. Sometimes, presence is enough. Being in the same space, sharing the same environment, without pressure. That's a form of bonding. In fact, in stable dog relationships, constant physical attention isn't necessary. Calm coexistence becomes the connection. But here's what most people miss. If your dog chooses to stay in the same room without seeking constant interaction, it means they feel secure enough to just exist beside you. No need to prove anything. No need to seek reassurance. That kind of quiet companionship is a sign of deep trust. And now, let's connect everything. The look away. The lean. The yawn.
The slow blink.
The quiet distance. Individually, they seem small. Almost invisible. But together, they tell a completely different story. A story of a dog who isn't just reacting to you, but emotionally syncing with you. Adapting to you. Trusting you. In ways that go far beyond what most people ever notice. But here's the truth that changes everything. Dogs don't measure relationships the way humans do. They don't need constant attention. They don't need exaggerated affection. What they need is emotional stability, consistency, safety. And when they find that in you, their behavior becomes quieter, softer, more subtle. Which is exactly why so many people misunderstand it. They think something is missing, when in reality, something deeper has been built. So the next time your dog looks at you and then looks away, pause. Don't dismiss it. Feel it. Recognize it for what it is. The next time they lean into you without excitement, stay in that moment a little longer. The next time they yawn, or blink slowly, or choose to simply exist in the same space as you, don't overlook it. Because those are the moments your dog is speaking the loudest, without making a sound. And maybe that's the behavior nobody talks about. Not because it isn't important, but because it's too quiet for most people to notice. But now you will. And once you do, you'll start to realize something incredible. Your dog has been communicating with you this whole time. Not through noise. Not through chaos. But through calm. Through presence. Through trust. And suddenly, that silence between you doesn't feel empty anymore. It feels like understanding.
And the most fascinating part is, once you start noticing this quiet language, your entire relationship with your dog begins to shift in ways you didn't expect.
You stop waiting for the loud moments.
You stop measuring love by excitement, by jumping, by barking, by constant attention. Instead, you start noticing the silence between those moments, the pauses, the subtle choices your dog makes when they're simply near you.
Because that's where the truth has been hiding all along.
Not in the obvious behaviors everyone celebrates, but in the stillness most people overlook. And strangely enough, the more you respect that silence, the more your dog seems to relax around you. They don't need to try as hard. They don't need to constantly check in. They don't need to overexpress what they already feel. It's almost like they've been waiting for you to understand a language they've always been speaking. And maybe that's the part that stays with you the most. Not that your dog is doing new things, but that they were always communicating in ways you were never taught to see. A slow blink that meant trust. A quiet lean that meant safety. A look away that meant peace, not distance. Even the simple act of just being in the same room, no demands, no pressure, just presence. It all starts to feel different. And once that shift happens, you realize something important.